Hi.
Hi, how are you?
Good. Trying to put out a release candidate, but
Nice news.
yeah. But our tests are a bit flaky, and since recently, we've decided that we will try to make the test fast before merging.
Hello, glad to see you, Marian. How are you doing? Can you hear me?
I'm too.
Awesome. So let's wait for a while. I think somebody else will join. I'm going to the usual announce that we have started. We probably can remove this note about check record if recording is enabled, because I think since we switched to Zoom, the recording is automatically enabled for every call. Okay, let's have start. Let me just share this document. I will post a link into Zoom chat. Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Thank you. Okay, chat is here. I'm chatting as a guest. That's weird. Okay. You can put your name into this document. Feel free to add any topics you want to discuss in OpenFlower. And let's start. Today's 24 of April. Welcome everyone on the weekly Cozystack community meeting. I'll repeat that we have Telegram group where you can join and ask your questions. We also have Slack channel and official Kubernetes Slack. And do we have any new members on this call today who didn't introduce yourself previously and who would like to put few words about yourself? Just who you are and what are you doing, your experience joining this group. It's a good time to do that right now. Okay, then let's switch to agenda, and I want to put few announcements. So first,
Hi, can you hear?
yeah, we can hear you.
My name is Dmitry. I was meet you on DevOps Conf few years ago. We're talking about LINSTOR. I'm pretty interested on of Cozystack, and I can show simple demo with bats, bash framework tests. That's it.
Thank you. Yeah, we will have a topic about the testing solution. Thank you for introduction. So I'm going to show, go all over our agenda here, and then switch to open floor to talk about the other topics written here. So welcome and happy to see you join in our community. I want to say that there is a news that we just published the talk today on CNCF webinar. That's actually already existing talk. It was published on one of KCD, Czech and Slovak. This talk is currently updated, and I think it has latest information on how Cozystack is working. So if you're interested, it might be interested to start watching this presentation.
I already watched it today. It's pretty awesome. You cool guy.
I'm glad that you like it.
Robert, it's
Yeah,
public available, yes?
yeah, it is publicly available. And also, I think in 1 month, there will be second part, which will have totally different content that will be talk more about how API aggregation layer works in Cozystack and how which patterns we use to build the platform itself.
Mm-hmm. That will be
This
nice.
talk, yeah, this talk will be offline on Tech Internals conference in Berlin. I will put link there. Unfortunately, this conference is paid, but maybe somebody would be interested to participate, or at least we can agree to meet.
When
Berlin.
you will be in Berlin?
I think it should be 26th of May.
26th of May. Okay.
Yeah. So if you're interested, just let me know. And there will be Georg, Victoria, and some other parts of our team. Let's have a party.
Yeah. Maybe I will be there. I will try to understand.
Okay. Just write into chat or personal mail. Well, okay. Today we just published new Cozystack versions. We decided to switch our version strategy. So for now, we will create one stable version. It will go with multiple patch releases. And also, we are going to prepare new alpha, beta release candidates for the next version. After release candidates become to be normal release, then we start developing on the next release. So for now, we have this separation. We have current release, which will have patches, and we can say it's stable release. And the next release, which is under development, for now, we will call it like release candidates. And after it gets published, then we will work on this as a new stable base. We did some changes. For now, we almost published the 041 release. This release includes new GPU support for tenant Kubernetes clusters. That means previous release was including GPU support for virtual machines. That means that you can pass through GPU from the hosts to the virtual machines. In 041, you will be able to run Kubernetes clusters with these GPUs, and also you'll be able to consume them. On the next meeting in 2 weeks, I think we will make a short demo with our clients Hydora. They have hardware with GPU, so I'll demonstrate how exactly it works. Come on the next meeting and I'll show this. Also, we did some improvements for user experience. We added automatic removal for disabled components because previously it wasn't working, and currently working on HelmReleases reconciliation for FluxCD. That means if you update your host or some parameters or root tenants, all the child HelmReleases will also update and will consume these parameters, and they will be reconciled automatically. For now, you need to do forced reconciliation, which is not good for user experience, but I think that in the next release, we will fix it as soon as possible. Also, the new LINSTOR, which handles ZFS snapshots better. Previously, there were a problem that it wasn't able to remove ZFS snapshots if they had childs. For now, it will remove the ZFS snapshots, and actually snapshot functionality in Cozystack will be fully functional. That's a whole huge changes. I think there are a lot of patches. I will not list all of them here. Better I'll show you a new version after it gets released. And now let's switch to OpenFlower. We have some topics to discuss. One topic from Nikita, I think.
Yeah, that's me.
Are you on a call? Could you introduce it?
Yeah, sure.
That's what we spoke about on previous meet, I guess.
It's just a bit expanded. So we discussed a minimal installation, a minimalistic installation. And here I suggest that we move a large amount of components to separate repositories, and also implement the support of external repositories with those components. So it's quite similar with what Kubernetes at some point in time did to it in 3 components, in 3 plugins, in 3 providers. So my idea is quite similar.
Yeah, we had that. I think it was also listed in our roadmap that we're going to do decomposition. I think it was somewhere over here. Yeah, Cozystack decomposition. I think it will be in the next year. Before that, we can start doing that earlier, but I think what should trigger to start this decomposition? There should be multiple vendors who use Cozystack as a core for building their own distribution. This way, everybody would need to ship separate components. I think at that point we can start to do decomposition, because before we reach that point, it might be more difficult to support such configurations in different Git repositories. But I think we already have this in roadmap, and we have this in our minds. So we will work thinking that this feature will be available, and we really want to do this because Cozystack should become to be more like a framework for deliver various configurations.
Mm-hmm. Okay, is there an issue on GitHub or something?
Not sure if there is an issue on GitHub. We can try to check.
Okay, I will. If it is, if you don't remember, that this probably does not exist. Don't you think I should make one? I just want to maybe build up a plan or maybe make some small features in the future.
I think it would be nice to create at least issue at max, which you can do is to create enhancement proposal, like some document. If you prefer Google Docs, you can describe how do you see, and then we will publish it to community and also take a look from our side. How can we implement some features described in this document? So I think Google Doc would be the best option. You can start writing Google Doc to have some base to record the IDs actually. You can even create a new tab here. You can try to just to create new doc. You can create new tab and just write it here. I think that also would be a nice option to do. Then we will switch it, move it to the documentation. But at first we need to discuss it all together.
Okay, got it. Thank you, and that's it from my side.
Thank you. We also have the next topic about Cozystack bundle for simple installation web UI, just on Linux VM without Talos OS, needed to simplify demo for new customers. Is there anybody who wrote this topic? Okay, anyway, I think we can try to understand what is this topic about. Virtual machine without Talos OS, I guess they want to install Cozystack on some kind of K3s because the only requirement for Cozystack is K3s. No, this is not the only requirement. There might be also storage requirements. But I think that PaaS hosted bundle should be working fine for that case.
So to summarize that, there need to be a minimalistic Kubernetes installation, some storage, and some modified bundle maybe. PaaS hosted, but modified in some way to be really tiny.
I guess you don't even need to have storage there because if you run it on single node, you can consume local path provisioner. But I guess it might not be working for virtual machines. So it will definitely work for Postgres and database as a service, but not for virtual machines. The recent chat, was it not the purpose of Docker? Yeah, there also might be option for running it in kind. And I think we need to have some unified option to try Cozystack, like simple script to start and deploy it in Docker. The only trouble for this is that for now, Cozystack is very resource consuming. And it might require your laptop and your PC having, I know, at least 8 or 16 gigs of RAM.
Much more than that.
Much more. That depends on the amount of nodes you're going to run. Because in our testing environment, we run 3 virtual machines with 16 gigs, with 32 gigs of RAM, I think. But if you run it on your local PC, you might. So first we need to have single node, and I think it might work fine for single node installation. And we need to reduce the resources usage.
But it's a nice start that after we did the test, that you can actually now run them locally. And I was able, like, with some help to get the end-to-end tests running locally on my laptop.
Yeah, I just thinking that there might be also another issue. For now, if we want to make it running, first, do we need to demonstrate virtual machines and Kubernetes functionality? I mean, tenant Kubernetes clusters. Because if we don't do that, in this way, PaaS-hosted bundle should be working fine. But if we want to demonstrate the opportunity to running virtual machines and virtualized Kubernetes clusters, that makes things more complicated. Because first, we need to have kubov uninstalled, which is not part of Kubernetes in Docker. And also we need the storage that supports block volumes for virtual machines. Or we need to modify Cozystack somehow to make it working with other kind of storages.
And there's also the IP addresses.
What do you mean?
I mean that Metal LB may or may not work in some environments.
Yeah, but I think we don't, for now, we not very depend on Metal LB. We can actually use any kind of external load balancer. And if I remember well, Kind should ship some default one. I don't know, maybe it would be nice to prepare some image, like YAML image, which you can just run and have Cozystack installed, which you can easily start using. That also might be an option. I think that might be easier way to test. You can import this image actually into any cloud, any hypervisor, or even run locally if your laptop or your PC is capable to do that.
So it should be based on some general purpose Linux distribution, isn't it?
Yeah, there were some requirements. So it should be based on, and why not using Talos Linux?
I'm not sure if we are able to make an image from Talos Linux, which will not require some setup prior to running.
I mean, if we provide image with virtual machine, we can install Talos Linux inside and everything neat. But if we let user just to try Cozystack on their local PC, there might be some options. I just don't like the idea because for now we depend on so many things, like hardware things, like storage and networking. And I would like to have some stable and reproducible environment for that. Talos Linux gives that, but other ordinary distributions are not. There should not be an issue to create, to install Cozystack on Ubuntu, for example. The only thing, this Ubuntu should have specific kernel version. It should have DiRBD kernel module installed and things like so. I had an experience baking such images, especially from Dockerfile, but that's tricky way. I would like to provide it some more common way. I don't know. There are so many options. I think the best option to demonstrate the basic functionality of Cozystack is using K3S, which works almost on every distribution, and pass hosted bundle, and just to make sure that it works in single node configuration.
Andre, can I ask also concerning the K3S distribution? So if I will install the K3S, I can install the just Cozystack on this environment, yes?
Yeah, actually, Cozystack depends on only Kubernetes, and we're not strictly tied to using only Talos Linux. We like to use Talos Linux because it allows to hardcode the versions and components, but we can actually work on any distribution. The only thing we need is Kubernetes and specific kernel versions and kernel modules. So K3S should be working fine. I would ask if somebody can try running Cozystack pass hosted bundle on K3S.
That's the thing which I would like to testing on my baby cloud, because it's running quite stable on K3S distribution.
Yeah,
That means if I will just provide the empty K3S distribution, then I will try to install the Cozystack bundle on top of this. Yeah.
I have a fear that it will not be working until we implement RAM support. For now, I still want to repeat to the community that we have opportunity to give you RAM machine if you would like to work on RAM support for Cozystack. So we can actually set up the CI pipeline for RAM machine, and there's some changes should be done to make it working on RAM.
And just a quick break, and I was planning on doing that. It's Nikita.
Yeah, thank you. I'll just write it down.
Yeah. In my context, the RM it's some small something like edge cluster or edge computing. That's the. I'm not sure whether I need every features of Cozystack, but we talk about that should be something like edge distribution of Cozystack.
I was just wondering which distribution you use on your baby cloud for K3S.
Yeah, I'm using K3S, yeah. And then I'm depends on the Raspberry OS, yeah. That's for me.
Raspberry OS.
Yeah.
So I guess it's based on Raspbian.
But only reason why, because it's stable and do not consume quite a lot of resources. It seems to be more optimized than Talos. Yeah, that's I'm running, but there is no other limitation.
Okay. Have you tried to use Talos Linux on your machines? I guess it was.
We have tried, and there is still running, but it's not public available. But plan is, I talked with one guy from Technical University in Košice, and we would like to open or provide at least six node RM cluster for Cozystack for testing and distribution, something like community resources. Yeah, that can be done during this month or next month. I would like to.
I like SEP Cozystack enhancement proposal. Nice idea. Thank you.
Very ambitious.
Yeah. Let's start working on this. Okay. Let's switch to the next topic. And this topic is how can we improve the test? I just want to make short introduction that we started to do automated testing not so long time ago. About months ago, we get testing environment, or even 2 weeks ago from CNCF, and we started improving our testing framework and our testing scripts to make them running first every time for every pull request. And there are still questions. Is there anything easier and better than we use for now? I saw there is some suggestions. First, I would like just to show how exactly it works for now. So for now, we have pipeline which actually runs our script for end-to-end testing. It creates 3 virtual machines using QEMU, then installs Talos Linux on them, then installs Cozystack itself, and waits until it brings up and all the components become up. Also, it checks few additional options like if Jigs Ingress is available, if Grafana is available, and also checks key clock. This is like very basic scenario. We're also going to add some additional tests for applications. For now, we just have basic script which checks all the applications if they can be installed and if they become ready. But I think we need some more difficult scenarios. So for example, if you deploy Postgres, you can use ESCTL to access this Postgres cluster and create some tables. If you deploy Kubernetes, you need to get kubeconfig and try to create a persistent volume load balancer service, some scenarios like that. And I think that shell scripting for now it's the best option because it allows you to write the scripts, the testing very well. And I just wanted to ask community if you know some good frameworks and good approaches for such tests. Somebody on this call just said me about this BUT score. Can you show a little bit more, share more, little bit more information about this solution?
Hi, Andrei. It's me, Dmitry.
Yeah. You said also that you have some demo. If you want to demonstrate anything, you can.
Yeah, I have a small demo. Oh shit.
Do you want to demonstrate your screen?
While the participant is sharing, I can't share my screen.
Yeah, let me stop sharing and let's try to do that right now.
Can you see?
Yeah.
So I start locally minikube. You can see Grafana running, is running, and I write 2 simple tests for Grafana deployment status and check API health. Grafana has this API for health checking outside. Just run the script and looks very good, but we make some breaks or mistakes or something going wrong. For example, so we have a message not found, deployment not found, or we can make something like this. So we see error and not all Grafana pods are running. Let's start again. Sorry. I can see timeout for rollout. Is it correct timeout?
If you put 20F for 20 seconds, it should
F?
work. It's probably a go duration, yeah, like this.
Just wait 20 seconds and we create some error.
Never used that command, to be honest. kubectl rollout status. What does it do? It just checks if it's running for 20 seconds, am I right?
Yes, just waiting 20 seconds and we got some error. One out replication pending termination. If you have multiple pods in deployment, you not necessarily check out all of them, just check some the deployment.
Interesting. So actually what it allows you to do is to have a common syntax for describing such tests. I just don't see a really big difference in using pure bash.
Maybe you're right. But I have some inspiration in CSI-LM driver. I have some work with it, and I think it's pretty good for a message exception or for message. This is framework pretty convenient. I saw.
Interesting.
More
We have to
structured,
try.
more structured definition of tests. If there is a large number of tests, looks good.
Yeah, every function, every test like a function in Bash, but you can extend by the functional, and you can use this framework in Docker.
Sounds interesting. Very thank you for your demo.
Just try it. Or I can make some PR for Cozy if you want.
Yeah, I think should we rewrite our existing end-to-end tests, or we can start writing the new tests? Especially, it would be really nice if you can contribute just small example. How can we use it? Let me just show how it works.
Okay, I will make some pair and I will note you.
Yeah, I'll just show how it works for now. Let's go to Cozystack. So for now, when we want to test something, we have a make test command. This one, it actually go to the packages core testing. We have everything. We actually have testing sandbox described in this package. So let's go to packages, core, testing. Just add images, end-to-end sandbox. You have Docker file, which installs everything needed for the test. So tests actually running inside of the Docker container. If you want to install some binary, you can specify installation for this binary inside of this Docker file. And then this actually Docker image is going to be run in Docker by testing command. So it runs, first it creates apply, it creates, wait a second. I guess it was something different.
No. The apply is there. Look at the bottom of the file. you've got apply listed twice in the make file.
All right, we have a bug here. So yeah, for now it runs a Docker container with this sandbox image. It's privileged container with sleep infinity, so it does nothing. And then it copies the root directory into this sandbox, and then it executes the tests actually. So actually what it does, it just runs end-to-end test command. And previously there were also another target it's called test applications. So for now, previously it was running hack end-to-end .applications sh, but for now this script isn't working, and I think we need to rewrite it somehow. You can actually create a new target here or replace test applications because we will rewrite it anyway. And the script itself is running and is stored in hack directory.
Can I run the test application sh directly from my local PC? Or
Yeah, I think it should work. I think it should work.
it's okay, it's good.
Yeah, but I was thinking to write new script and create specific scenarios, like if you're testing Kubernetes, if you're testing Postgres. And that was one of the second question. What should we want to test first?
This was also my question. What do you would like to test? Yeah.
So for now we have good. Okay, I wouldn't say good testing script for bringing up the sandbox and actually installing Cozystack, but it is already working. So we need to start covering with tests our applications. And the first application I would like to cover is Kubernetes application. And some more common used applications like virtual machine.
With first stage, it's enough.
Pure stage.
First stage, this test.
First stage.
Yes. If we implement this to tests, create a Kubernetes cluster and create and delete virtual machines, maybe it's enough for first automation tests.
So we can write it like phase one.
And we check our test structure and can decide what way we can choose for other tests.
Let's start with virtual machine. The simplest test we can do is to create virtual machine, try to exec into it, and curl. I would say even not virtual machine instance and VM disk, or even VM disk and virtual machine instance, SSH or exec into it, and check, for example, external connectivity with just for fun. Just do something.
Maybe just run uptime or something. Just a simple command.
Uptime, okay. In Kubernetes, I would test create cluster order PVC order service type load balancer. And the rest things I think would be SQL, create table, or how's it called? PGSQL? I don't remember, to be honest. PSQL, yes. So I think we can try to do that with phase one. And again, for now, yeah, I just remember that existing testing solution, which is described in end-to-end applications, it creates Helm releases. We need to create not Helm releases, but we need to create the resources from our application, from our API. So like we described here, where it was Cozystack API. We need to create virtual machine disk and virtual machine instance, but not Helm release, and try to operating with those entities. So I think this end-to-end application script should be replaced. You can even freely remove it and start writing those like simple scenarios. So if you feel able to do just simple scenario, we will then think where to place it better. So for now, I think we just need to have an example. We can even start with just creation of such objects if they can be created and if they become to ready state.
Andre,
And
I
then,
think what we might really want to have is a sort of interface. So right now we've got this packages directory, and every subdirectory in there has a makefile that has an update target to update the Helm chart, for instance. What we might want is for every such package to say have a test target that will call out some kind of script like the one that Dmitry proposed maybe. And then what you do is you can go into any package directory and type make test, and it will run the test for this type of application. And then all you have left to do is to actually implement the tests themselves inside of this package directory.
that's an amazing idea. I really like it. So anytime if you want to do the test, you can go to the specific directory. In our case, it could be, but that might not be working in case if there are more entities needed, like dependent entities. I understand your point that if you want to test virtual machine, you can go to this directory and write make test. But how to do with such entities like virtual machine instance, for example, because it depends on virtual machine disk.
Depends. Ephemeral VMI is not save data. Simple. I mean simple.
All right. I think for now that's only dependency we have. So we can create virtual machine disk as part of virtual machine instance test that should be working as well. Yeah, let's try to do that. So the input target for the test should be makefile. When we go to some directory, for example, virtual machine, we would like to run make test and run testing of creation of virtual machine. Let's write it down. Phase 0. Go to packages, apps, virtual machine, run make test. It should create virtual machine. Wait until it's up. Try to exec into it. So let's state it. Let's keep it like this. I will scratch it down for now. If you could implement this scenario, that would be really good point to start using this framework. Thank you for this. And if we have no other options or suggestions or questions, we can switch to the next topic, is automatic updates for components. So for now, we have really a lot of outdated components in Cozystack. We would like to have some automation for updating them. For now, every application in system actually, it includes update target. For example, if we go to the Cilium, we can run make update, and it will download new Cilium chart and also update the Cilium version in Docker file. In fact, it will create a pull request like this. For now, this action can be done manually, but we would like to have some automation which will keep eye for upstream components. That's usually what Dependabot or Renovate is doing, but we need them to prepare such pull requests. So anytime when new version is released, I would like to expect that it will create pull requests with a new version where it already ran make update to this version. Does anybody know or have experience how to do that the best possible way? I was thinking if Dependabot or Renovate can do this, or also there might be a practice of regular pipeline, which will go all over the components and run make update there.
In your Helm chart, you have some additional options. Not sure that Dependabot will work properly. Regular pipeline looks like better, I think.
Yeah, I had the same fear that Dependabot can work well only with Go code or with existing some programming code, but will not actually execute some commands like make update. Regular pipeline is fine, but in this way it looks like
night build. Yeah.
Make build?
Night. Every night build and update.
Yeah, so we can run pipeline every night, for example. It will check all the components. Run make update for them. Then create pull request. Yeah, that sounds good.
Maybe automatic updates should be limited to, say, minor versions only or something.
I think there should be some rules which we can specify. So we should have some configuration file where we specify source, target. For example, this could be github.com Cilium. Target could be packages.
Wait a minute, maybe we don't need one config file, and just every component should have a small config file like that. So where to update and which versions to update.
I like this idea more, so it can go all over the components and run some make check updates or make update the same But first it will go and check if this update, or it can even just run make update for everything. So we don't even need to have configuration file.
But how we can automatically update without tests and without stable CI?
It will create pull request, and after it creates pull request, it will run CI, which will test all the changes. We already have this for now. Especially, we can update system components with that, and applications, they will be updated as part of our, after we actually create the new testing suite. But that's actually the thing, we just need to update the system components because the user-faced applications, they usually doesn't hold any extra update logic. So we can even, I think, say that we can work with only with packages system and run make update for every directory and then create PR. The only thing we need to separate pull requests for every specific components, because if it will go all over the loop, it can update multiple components, which I don't like. I think it should create separate pull requests for every specific component in the system. Yeah, that sounds really interesting. The only thing we need to do is to write such pipeline. I think I will.
I'm sorry, how you will handle 100 and more PRs? I mean, multiple PRs will generate it every run of this pipeline.
I understand what you're talking about, but I think that the components we use, they don't update very often. So they can create like one version in 3 days at least. But I'm not sure what might be better. I think it's always better to update to the latest patch version, but there is things. We actually need to start using this and then we will decide what to do with that. Maybe we will do some cumulative updates for everything. That's also an option.
Have you some plans for CI tests implement for PR or different issues? Maybe.
We already have this. So we already, today I enabled force testing for every pull request created. We still have an issue with external pull requests, which are created from fork. But for now, it will start doing testing and building process every time when new pull request is created. So for now, we can see that there are some issues with this pull request. It will not allow me to merge it. So the main idea is that we have regular pipeline which updates the components. It creates set of pull requests and then the tests running and checking if it is working. If it works fine, if tests are passed, then maintainer can just join and merge it into main branch. That's an idea.
Sounds good. Good luck.
Well, many thanks you for participating. We have 2 minutes left. If you have any other questions.
Yes, I want to make a suggestion regarding that Cozystack will be split in some time. And as we discussed today, so the suggestion is to keep each component as independent as possible. So it could be easily split out in different repository or something and can be differently supported.
I think
just to keep it in mind and live with this.
That might be an option, but in this way you'll get pure Kubernetes with Helm charts where you can install any application you want to. The main value of Cozystack was that it provides you ready configuration of the components which are well configured to working well with each other. I think that we need to provide such opportunity to provide various configurations, in our case bundles, in which we can have optional components. So that makes that we can have some kind of repository. You can create repository with single application, or you can create a repository with 50 applications. But in this case, you have to be sure that they're working well with each other. So my idea was to use, sorry?
You need some point of truth for which component already pushed new version, something like syncmate2. You push new component and you can get in each other components new version and test them.
I think we're talking about different things for now, because Nikita said about the separation practices, actually moving out the components of Cozystack, moving out entry components to be out of tree, and the organization of this such repositories. From my point of view, it looks like for now, Cozystack itself is Helm charts and Helm repositories, and creation separated repository which you can opt into existing Cozystack, which is running as framework. It should include all the components. You know, sorry, it's difficult to describe. The closest alternative to this would be Ubuntu packages. So you can create your own user PPA, which will hold multiple packages which are related to each other. So we want to do something similar to Cozystack. You can create your own repository with your own applications, which you then can connect to Cozystack, and you'll be able to install all the components from it.
Mm-hmm. So you are talking about more like a repository per product more than a repository per component or something.
Yeah. For example, you can have repository which will contain Postgres, MySQL, and other databases service. You can have a repository which includes only Kubernetes and virtual machines. And then you can have single Cozystack, which you want to use. You can use for running database as service or for providing infrastructure service. In this way, you can just connect these two repositories and you'll be installing both. But you can use only separate things like only database service without virtualization, or just virtualization without database service.
Mm-hmm. Well, I know that we are out of time, but just a quick note that you're switched to a broader view, but I was first talking about treating components as an independent thing from the point of view of testing or something. So instead of creating a centralized script that would, for example, run tests or run builds or run updates, in case of that, just create a separate testing or updating mechanism for each component so it could be split in some way easily.
Yeah, I think we need to have separate, and the entry point to this should be make target. So if we want to test some component, we can just go to this component directory, write make test, and it should run in the existing cluster this component, this virtual machine, and actually do all the needed checks if it's working or not. The same thing with updating this is already implemented. So in case if you want to update Cilium, you just go to the packages system Cilium, run make update, and you have latest configuration for the Cilium itself. I really like this separation because we have lessly coped components, and this is good practice to not have it all together. To not put it into the same bin. Well, we are running out of time. Thank you for participating, and see you in 2 weeks. We will make a demo with GPU. And see you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.